Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Newsmax Prime. I'm J.D. Hayworth. Of prime interest tonight, the candidate in the crosshairs. A Mexican drug kingpin targets Donald Trump for assassination. But how real is this reported threat? Miranda Khan has more from our Newsmax Prime newsroom. Miranda?
JD, unconfirmed reports resurfaced yesterday. They suggest escaped Mexican drug lord Joaquin, who goes by the name El Chapo, allegedly upped the stakes against Donald Trump. They suggest he has put a $100 million bounty on the billionaire turned presidential candidate. El Chapo's anger reportedly stems from comments Trump made about Mexicans. Now, you may recall word of El Chapo's threat, who's shown here in a dated photo, threatened Mr. Trump after his much talked about escape from that maximum security prison in Mexico. El Chapo reportedly told other inmates about the bounty before he escaped, saying he was upset over comments Trump made when announcing his candidacy back in June.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting.
Now, during that time, Trump responded via Twitter, posting this comment. Can you envision Jeb Bush or Hillary Clinton negotiating with El Chapo? He posted a follow-up tweet saying Trump would kick his behind. Now, as for this latest threat, no specific sources were cited. Now, Mr. Trump beefed up security after that original threat, but no word yet on any actions he's taken after this latest report. JD, back to you.
Thanks, Miranda. For more, let's welcome in via Skype former New York Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik. Bernie is also the author of the book, From Jailer to Jailed. Bernie, welcome back to Newsmax Prime. And, sir, what do you make of this threat? Good reason for Donald Trump to be concerned?
Well, anytime you're threatened by anyone, it's a reason for concern. This guy is a known killer. He's somebody known to the DEA, to the FBI, the U.S. Justice Department. He's involved in one of the largest drug cartels in the world. The amount of money he has access to or could put together, for some kind of reward or a bounty is enormous, really. And it's something that they should be concerned with, Do they have specific credible threats coming directly from him? I don't know. That's up to the intelligence community, the Bureau, the DEA. But I think, with all this chatter, I think it's something that we should, and Donald Trump should be actually concerned with.
Bernie, during some of your remarks, we were taking a look at the huge crowds that turn out to hear Trump speak. Can the Donald still run an effective campaign despite the presence of this threat?
Yes, absolutely. Look, it's no different than the threats they have on the president. This president has, I think at last count, there was a 400% increase in the amount of threats on President Obama than others. I personally know many of the guys that work on Donald Trump's campaign. They are the ultimate professionals. He has an extensive security team around him, highly qualified, and they're going to make sure that he gets through this campaign and does what he has to do. But there's still a need for concern always.
Do you believe our government is doing enough to pressure the Mexican government over El Chapo in view of his escape?
Yeah, I think they are. Look, this was a major embarrassment for Mexico. The last time this guy escaped, and he had escaped in the past, they said, well, we got him this time, and nobody has to worry about it. He's never going to get away again. And, now he's on the lam again. So at the end of the day, it's a big embarrassment, and I think they're going to do everything in their power to get him back. And if that includes the assistance of DOJ, the Department of Justice, we're going to put all our effort into it, or at least as much as Mexico will let us.
You just brought up the DOJ, and that Department of Justice is scheduled to release 6,000 prisoners, the largest federal release in American history. Do we have an overpopulation of people imprisoned for petty crimes? Is that the root of the call or the release we're going to see here?
Well, I think most of these, and I haven't seen all the information. I think most of these are drug-related crimes. These are, many first-time nonviolent offenses. In fact, I think every one of these are nonviolent offenses that were, guys who were sentenced to these draconian sentences for nonviolent crimes. I think that's a lot of what these numbers are. I don't know I don't have all the information, but if that's what it is, I think that the president is doing the right thing.
Bernie, do you worry, though, that a significant number of these folks who are released will go back and commit the same type of crimes again?
Well, here's the problem, JD. Whether it's these guys or anybody released from prison, the system sort of contradicts its own mission statement. You're labeled a convicted felon from that point on. Your demise is almost inevitable. Your personal, professional annihilation for the rest of your life. So hopefully they can help get these guys jobs. Hopefully they can do something with them on the outside. But whether it's these guys or anybody else, once you're labeled a convicted felon, if you're a commercial fisherman and you caught too many fish, well, you can't never get another job. So at that rate, this is something that we have to be worried about. We have to do everything in our power to help these guys get back on their feet. And the government today, as it stands in the criminal justice system, doesn't necessarily do that.
Bernie Kerik, you bring an interesting perspective tonight. We thank you for it. Bernie, of course, the author of the book, From Jailer to Jailed. And as always, we thank the former New York Police Commissioner for his time on Newsmax Prime, because he brings such an interesting perspective from law enforcement and, yes, from the correctional side.